Hi, my name is Denice Duff, and I'm a professional photographer. Now, I've spent years working in front of the camera, both as a model and as an actress, but my real happy place lies behind the lens. And so for the last 20 years or so, I've been a professional portrait photographer, and I get to shoot tons of actors and musicians and beauty campaigns, editorials, magazine covers, and even the new celebrity, the influencer of today.
Hey Denice, it's awesome to be doing our interview. How are you in New York City?
Oh, it's a gorgeous day. Don't let that blue sky fool you. It's about 35 degrees.
So let's dive right in. You
Boom.
shoot mostly people, right?
Yes, I shoot things that blink.
That's good. Things that blink, I like that. Okay, when you're shooting a client, what's the most common fear you run into with people that you're photographing?
Good question. The most common fear that I run into with any client is they have a fear that they're going to look old, tired, or heavy. It really comes down to that. They may not voice that, but that is the big fear of when someone sits in front of a camera, that they will look old, tired, and heavy. And so it's my job to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Okay, that leads to my next question. What are some of the tools of the trade that you use to help people feel relaxed, comfortable, and just looking great?
We always hear you have to make someone look comfortable, make them feel comfortable. But how do you do that? I'm just so interested in people, and I'm interested in people's stories. And the bonus, the benefit of that now as a photographer is that's when you bring out the most comfortable side of somebody.
Right.
And so I ask them, do you have any kids? Do you have any pets? My client yesterday, as I'm shooting, her smile would start to get a little bit fake, and I would just say, think about Binky. How's that little Binky? You know, I knew that she had this dog, that's her life. As soon as you mention somebody's pet, they glow. It is such an easy tip to find out if they have pets, talking about their kids, maybe not so much their spouse. Another simple thing, a stool, okay? When someone can rest their feet on something, like I'm doing right now, the body language is huge. I wouldn't necessarily start a client with a standing shot. Like if you have your options, right? Unless you're shooting, unless you're shooting a model with suits, in that case you're shooting a model and they're paid to be comfortable. But otherwise, if you're doing a portrait of someone and you have a few setups, I always try and start with them sitting down, because then they don't have to worry about, what do I do with my body? And they're sitting and they're comfortable. And another thing is when somebody has their hand like, by their neck or by their face, there is this comfortableness that happens. People feel comfortable when they get to adjust things. I'll either have the client I'll tell them, give them direction to move their hair out of their face, or put your hand behind your neck, and or I'll go over and I'll touch up their makeup a bit. Sometimes even if they don't need it, I'll just sort of pat around here or get rid of a little bit of shine. And there's that human interaction that just makes somebody comfortable. Leaning on something, leaning against a wall, people are very comfortable. Just make sure that they're not smushing their body or smushing their face, right? You could say, put your hand like that, but don't do like that, because that is a pain to retouch. That is not.
So it sounds like you use a lot of different things with a client, right?
I do. I've got it's a toolkit, because here's something, when clients, I know you and I, we were talking about direction, right? And what kind of direction you give a client. How much is too much? When I get clients, I love to give direction because we all win at the end, really. Yeah. And, it will be down to look over there and laugh, right? I'll be shooting and I'll just say, look over to my shoulder and laugh. But I'll tell them, don't look too far away, because if you look too far away, you get too much white in the eye. I'll say, just look a little bit to the camera right or a little bit to the camera left, and give a great laugh. And I joke around and I say, pretend your publicist is here and all your fans are here. And I create this environment where they think they're in a photo shoot for Vanity Fair magazine. because I've been on those sets. I know those photographers. So I try and create that buzz that lifts the person out of their own fears and into this kind of fun, entertaining environment. And it's getting their attention off of themselves and kind of really onto me.
Denice, one of the biggest questions that comes up is how to use light, especially with everyday things when you don't have a studio easily accessible.
Window light is the most magical light. The photographer Patrick de Marchelier, my French should be way better than that, especially since my daughter's name is Paris. He did that iconic picture of Lady Diane, and it was a black and white shot, white background, and just natural light. They just found a place that was in complete shade, and for a woman, that is the most beautiful light. Shaded light with, like, you literally could go to a Rite Aid and get a big piece of foam core. They're just those art boards for like $4, and it's just a plain piece of foam core. And you want to put someone in the shade, but you put that little piece of foam core under them, and what that does is that bounces some light back into the eye. And silver is great. Silver can be even a little bit too much. You don't even need that. You literally can just go to Rite Aid and get yourself a piece of white cardboard, and that light is some of the most amazing light. I have the 70 to 200 Canon lens,
yep.
And that 200 millimeter lens compresses the background of the most god-awful, ugliest looking sceneries and creates this beautiful portrait bokeh so that the subject just shines. And with one hand, I hold that 100-pound camera, and with the other hand, I'm holding this little fill card. And it really does it's that difference between, oh, I could see you paid for that headshot, as opposed to, oh, that's a good shot. By just having that little bit of fill into the eyes. Finding doorways, like literally, when I walk around someone's house, I'm not looking at like, oh, what a great sink or your pretty couch. I'm looking at the placement of their windows. I'm like, wow, they've got a big window here and they have a window there. When you have the right lighting setup, you don't have to do anything. People don't know that 90% of the portraits on my website on duffimages.com are done with natural light. They don't know it because I will use solid backgrounds. I get backgrounds from, I use fabric from fabric stores. And if you get polyester, it doesn't wrinkle. And when I travel, I just fold them up and put them in a suitcase, and then you just open them up. You can buy them. They're a little bit more expensive. I think they call it like diamond fabrics. But you can literally put with gaffer's tape on a wall and have the person be right in front of the window, and you'll get such a dreamy light. And if if window light is coming in hard from one side, then and you're like standing over there, then make sure that you have a little bit of a fill with your card. You literally can hold it with your hand. So when you have someone standing next to that window, and if it's too much, you don't need a strobe to put it on the other side. All you need is that 99-cent piece of cardboard to hold it up, and it will take the light coming in, hit on it, and bounce back onto the person. It's like playing billiards.
I love it.
I'm always thinking of billiards when I'm using natural light. Another quick tip, having a person squat down low allows for the light ratio to be less harsh. Because if someone is standing and the sidewalk down or the ground below them has a lot of light, as that's coming up, it's going to be more harsh on the person. So have them move away from that bright light on the sidewalk or the grass into an area of shade. Have them squat down lower, and all of a sudden you'll see that the light spreads more evenly on their face.
Hey Denice, thanks for joining us today on AYP and for joining us as a coach. I know you're going to cover a lot more details as far as what you touched on today, which will be really phenomenal for our audience.
I love it. I love it so much. If I can give one tip to your awesome, loyal audience. There's actually a lot of room at the top for photographers, but people don't always risk going there. And I know sometimes we can think in this day and age that, oh, everybody's a photographer. No, everybody has good gear maybe. Everybody's got an iPhone, but not everybody is a professional photographer. And there is still so much room up at the top for we photographers to continue this glorious profession of giving people amazing photos that can help their business, that can help their life, and that just help show the world in a portal of your eyes and of your viewpoint. Thank you for having this channel, and this is a resource for really cool photographers. Wicka, wicka, wah!
I love it. So hey guys, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos, especially Denice's next series. Hit that like button and leave comments for her down here so she can pick those up and answer your questions. And remember to get out and capture your own images of life. Ba-bam!
Bam! Thank you.
Thank you.